This is another fishing podcast.
The thing that really, intrigues me about you is just that it's almost like you came out of nowhere, dude, with this style that's like, I mean, it's almost like you're from another planet comparatively. I mean, like compared to anybody else that was, bass fishing, competitively bass fishing at the time. I mean, this run and gun style, making as many casts in it's like a mathematical equation. I've said this many times about your style. It's like a mathematical equation. It's like if you can make as many presentations in a day and trigger with erratic retrieves and trigger more fish, it's just like with statistically with time, you're gonna end up on the top more. It's and like, where did you learn that, dude? Was that instinctual? Did you develop that through like local tournaments in Michigan? Where did that come from?
Well, it's all about efficiency, and the thing about any sport is competition pushes you to be better, right? You're only going to be as good as the level of competition that's around you, and I've seen this at all levels. If you're in high school football or tennis or, bass fishing or golf or anything like that, the level of competition is what sets the bar, right? You're only going to get better if you compete against people that can beat you. And that's true in all sports. And so I just, in my mind, figured out what was my comfort level and what fit my style. And, for these 3-day and 4-day events, you have to have a lot of fish found, and you've got to be able to adapt to changing conditions and weather and pressure and things like that. And that style, just like you say, from an efficiency standpoint, just from a statistical standpoint, is going to persevere in a lot of cases. So now you look at the anglers today on tour, they pretty much, without fail, the majority of them fish this way. I mean, I've seen this whole transition to where it a few years ago for sure was that. Now, electronics are so good and anglers are so good is that they're fast to cover water and find fish and to get yourself in the right area, because we're fishing big bodies of water, right? Big, huge playing fields at all these events. But then once you find an area, you've got to be really good at maximizing the number of opportunities, especially in the Major League Fishing format where every fish counts. It really, really makes a difference. So that's something that I had to learn to adjust to over the years, is that different format. But I've had to do that all, through my career. We've had different point structures, Angler of the Year structures, different events, the Megabucks format where you fish a whole course. You have to adapt your style to that exact event format. And, whether it's Major League Fishing style or, 5 fish or, a 1-day tournament to 3-day tournament, 4-day tournament, whatever it is, you just have to adapt your game plan, your style, your strategy to fit that format. And that's what guys are really good at now. I mean, they've learned that that's what you have to do. And that's true of any sport. I mean, it don't matter if it's the NFL, NASCAR, Major League Baseball, bass fishing, whether it's a Toyota series or a Major League Bass Pro Tour, an Elite Series event, or a 1-day high school championship. You've got to set your style, and you got to pick your game plan based on the format that you're fishing under at the time.
And I'll say, I remember a tournament where you were so close to making the cut and you didn't make it, and I'll put it this way: you yelled out a battle cry. Okay, let's put it that way, because you were so close but didn't make it. And I remember telling you, I said, "Well, dude, it's your fault. You made all these kids." You made these kids that are, that you're competing against, that are so, so competitive and so good. It's like you raised the bar of this sport. You showed people that this is a legitimate sport. You were so consistent, and so dominant. It's just like, listen, this is a real sport. This takes real talent. Look at Kevin. you know? And so you raised that bar, and you made this next generation. I mean, it's just the way.
It's humbling for sure. The problem in, a bass tournament is that you better get used to the reality. Lose a lot more than you're going to win. On the Bass Pro Tour, there's 80 guys. On the Elite Series, there's over 100. And day in, day out, you can't make a mistake. You can't have a bad day. You can't miss an opportunity and still be there to win. If you are that lucky, it's been a really special week. So when you do put it all together, it just makes it that much more special, and it's something that you really need to sit back and enjoy. But day in, day out, you're going to lose a lot more than you're going to win, and that's just the reality of bass tournaments. The odds are against you, especially now. I mean, the level of competition, like you say, is the best it's ever been. These young kids are really knowledgeable. There's so much information out there, between just the research that you can do on the internet and Google Earth and watching YouTube videos. And, I love teaching people how to catch fish, but I've also taught my competition the way to beat me.
Yeah. I find that I find it really kind of it's amazing to watch it. Especially, I mean, I'm a videographer, I'm at the back of the boat, but I'm also a fan, and I'm a spectator. I love kind of examining the sport that I grew up with and I love, but that's just something that I wanted to touch upon in this podcast.